With the overall stock market recovering substantially since the recent lows, dividend investors like myself are having a tougher time coming across stocks and ETFs in the market that are still considerably undervalued at this time. But if you dig deep enough, there are still several names which could offer massive compounding returns if we are to act fast enough and buy into them as soon as possible. But in this video, we are going to go through a dividend growth stock that not only offers a nice starting yield, but also massive capital appreciation and an insane monster amount of dividend growth. Now stay tuned because we are going to go through all this and more. Right after you please drop a like in this video and subscribe for more future content like this. Now the stock that we're talking about is American Tower. Now American Tower was founded in 1995 and converted to a REIT business structure in late 2011, minimizing its taxes on its real estate assets and kicking off its dividend program. The company owns a portfolio of around 171,000 towers that are located mostly in suburban and rural areas and leased out to wireless carriers under long-term contracts. Now, American Tower's infrastructure is used by carriers to provide wireless service to consumers and businesses, transmitting signals between towers and mobile devices. Most towers have a capacity for 4 to 5 tenants. American Tower operates similar to other triple net lease REITs, in that its tenants pay for almost everything needed to transmit the signals for their communications, except the tower and land that American Tower maintains. Now, as a result, the company's maintenance costs are extremely low, making its adjusted EBITDA margin a few years ago exceeding 60%. Now, to look a little bit deeper into how AMT actually works, here's a sample component ownership overview. It says owned by American Tower. The tower structure. Our tower sites are typically constructed with the capacity to support 4 to 5 tenants, land parcel owned or operated pursuant to a long-term lease by American Tower. Generators are sometimes owned by American Tower to help facilitate backup power for a site's tenants, and now owned by the tenants. Things like the antenna equipment, including microwave equipment, tenants' shelters containing base stations equipment, and HVAC, which tenants own, operate, and maintain, and coaxial cable. So American Tower has set up a pretty good process where they have almost an identical situation to triple net leases, only it's even maybe more simple because it's just a single antenna. Now right here you can see that American Tower has a global portfolio of over 170 communication sites. What's also crazy about American Towers is that when leases have come up for renewal, the company has historically enjoyed a 98 to 99% annual renewal rates, reflecting the limited alternative sites that tenants had to choose from. So pretty much AMT has sort of cornered the market and given most of their tenants not really that many other options. Now to look a little bit deeper into American Tower and why I think it's potentially a great buying opportunity as of right now, American Tower's 52-week range is at $178.17 on the low and $282.47 on the high. Now American Tower is currently trading just a few dollars off the 52-week range low. It's down around 13-14% year to date. Over the last year, American Tower, as far as share price, is down almost 28%. Now, if we zoom out though and look at the max chart, you can simply see that American Tower has been a massive compounder, historically speaking. At the top of the market back in 2021, American Tower was trading at almost $300 per share, making the current share price of around $185 almost 50% off. Now, what's also great about AMT's share price being beat up so much over the last year or so for dividend growth investors like myself and probably like a lot of you is the fact that AMT is now offering a starting forward dividend yield of well over 3% at 3.24%. Now, AMT has a payout ratio of around 66%, which is perfectly in line with most REITs, a dividend growth rate on the 5-year time frame of 16.42%, which we're going to go through a little bit deeper here in a second. And AMT does pay a dividend every quarter. Now looking a little bit deeper into American Tower's dividend growth, this is one of the main reasons on why I'm planning on buying a lot of AMT over the next months as hopefully the price continues to go down along with pretty much all the entire REIT sector. Now American Tower, just a few years ago when I first bought shares of it, probably back in 2020 I want to say, it was paying around $1.21 per share per quarter. Now, just a few years later, we're up to $1.57 per share per quarter. And if, for example, we were to go back, let's say 5 years, which in the grand scheme of investing is not all that long at all. Back in 2018, American Tower was paying 70 cents per share per quarter, making the current dividend over double that. Now, if I'm going to have to be honest, one thing I'm not a huge fan of when it comes to American Tower Corporation is just how volatile the actual share price of the stock can be. Now, if I remember correctly, I first bought into some shares of American Tower back in 2019 or 2020, and over the few years I held onto it, the single stock really moved around in share price quite a bit, and for me being more of a conservative, sort of a boring investor, I'm not really a fan of seeing my portfolio whipsaw like that on a consistent basis. On top of that, with every single share of American Tower Corporation being almost $200 or more historically per share, it does make it sort of an expensive holding to really stack a lot of shares of. But if I'm going to be completely honest, that's along with it just being a single stock, which I'm personally at this point a bigger fan of ETFs with a basket of stocks. There's really not all that much other bad that I can say about American Tower Corporation. So for investors that have a long-term time frame and are willing to wait for the share price to turn around and move back up towards $300 per share, which is almost where AMT has traded historically, they are going to get paid a nice juicy dividend for waiting. And also, if history were to repeat itself, they are going to get paid more and more and more the longer they hold on to AMT. But looking a little bit deeper into how American Tower has traded over the last 5 years, year to date, with total return being the metric, which means dividends are included, AMT is down 8.22% year to date. Over the last year, down 22.06%. The last 3 years, down 19.59%. In the last 5 years, AMT is up 52.5%. So once again, if you look through the multiple different time frames, this could be a once-in-a-decade buying opportunity for this REIT that has consistently moved up and to the right as far as share price and up and to the right as far as dividend growth. But in closing, for a long-term investor seeking long-term dividend growth and massive capital appreciation, American Tower appears to be an interesting candidate to consider and is definitely a stock that I'm going to be nibbling on at these levels. The economics of the tower business are quite favorable, and the earnings potential of American Tower's existing tower base in developing markets is substantial. Now, as a result, the management believes that the company can deliver 20% annual dividend growth over the next several years, which obviously makes it a potential attractive investment choice for all dividend growth investors out there. But when it comes to American Tower Corporation, ticker symbol AMT, I want to hear from you guys down below. Is AMT a REIT that you would consider investing into at these current levels? Let me know down below why or why not. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to please drop a like in the video and subscribe for more content like this in the future. Thanks as always for stopping by, and I'll see you in the next one.